There is probably no other unknown creature that arouses more curiosity than the Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Yes, there is the Loch Ness Monster, the Chupacabra, and other great beasts of lore, but the Bigfoot remains the most compelling, as it pulls us towards ourselves, shadowing the unknown X factor of our very origins. The case files contain thousands of reported sightings, yet no actual specimen has ever been found. Hundreds of photographs exist, but the creature has not yet been identified. Still, the clues accumulate year after year. In the words of one Bigfoot investigator, it is an extremely complex phenomenon, with no starting point and no geographical limits. If this creature does exist, then it is most certainly a relative of man. Descriptions of the ape-like creature do not vary dramatically with credible sightings. The creature is anywhere from 6 to 10 feet tall, 300 to 1,000 pounds, and walks upright on two legs. Hair covers almost all of its body and ranges in color from black to silvery white, with the predominant color being brown or reddish-brown. The creature is often reported to have a flat face and nose, a receding, sloped forehead with a prominent brow ridge, and a cone-shaped head, which sits on broad shoulders with no apparent neck. Its proportions are roughly those of a human being, except for its long, dangling arms. Bigfoot draws its name from the enormous footprints it leaves behind, many as long as 2 feet by 8 inches wide. The length of stride varies, but the distance is usually close to 4 feet between prints. There have been group sightings, 2 adults and 1 or more juveniles. The creature appears to be largely nocturnal. Species? Unknown at this time. When gorillas were first seen by white men early in the last century, the reaction to this discovery was one of shock and astonishment. Native stories of such creatures were well known, but were viewed as mere folklore and mythology by the scientific community. Prior to this paleontological milestone, man had the idea that he had more or less discovered everything there was to discover about ourselves. Bigfoot, also known in North America as the Sasquatch or the Oma. Was the Sasquatch here before the Indians? Thousands of Indian locations are named after the boss of the mountain, or the Wildman, as the Bigfoot was originally called by the Amerindians. Indian cultures generally regard the Wildman with the greatest respect. He is viewed as a special kind of being, perhaps because of his seemingly close relationship to humans. Many Indian elders regard him as standing on the border between animal and human consciousness, giving him a supernatural kind of power. But as special as he may be, there is no tribe that suggests that he is anything other than a physical being, living in the same physical dimensions as humans and other animals. He eats, he sleeps, gathers, and communicates with family members. Wildman or Sasquatch attributes from numerous reports. The smell of a Sasquatch far exceeds that of a bear or other mammals. Many cases report an intolerable stench when a Bigfoot is in the area. They vocalize in terrifyingly high-pitched scream-like mannerisms. Many recordings have surfaced in recent years. They knock trees, possibly to communicate with each other over long distances. They throw rocks and boulders. There are many reported cases where a Bigfoot throws rocks at campers, even boulders from the hilltops above if disturbed. They live in family units. Many cases report the sighting of not one but two or more individuals at a time, often with young in tow. They wash their food. In 1924, Albert Ostman was abducted by a Bigfoot, then held captive by a family unit. He noted, among other things, that the female Bigfoot washed and stacked leaves and vegetation. This behavior has been reported multiple times in the last 100 years. They may have developed a language. Many reports tell of a whinnying or gurgling whistle sound associated with their possible speech patterns. The creature has many names and is known by cultures all over the globe. Almas, Asia. Bigwas, BC has lay community. Jinsung, Asia. Kakundukari, Africa. Momo, North America. Ngoi Rung, Asia. Nukluk, North America. Nyalmo, Asia. Oma, North America. Orang Pendak, Oceania. Sasquatch, North America. Tano Giant, Africa. Te Ima, Asia. Ukumar, Latin America. Yeren, Asia. Yeti, Asia. Yowie, Australia. It seems that the Wildman may indeed be of a varied and widespread clan, encompassing every continent of the world. They all have one very distinct trait in common: an exceptionally big human-like foot. But in recent years, the enigma of the Bigfoot has taken another leap. The Bigfoot has dermal ridges. Throughout the last 100 years, there have been many Wildman sightings in Kentucky. May 1894, Deep Creek. 5 men encounter man-beast, which raided farms and was tracked to a cave. February 1959, Covington. Motorists saw a large, hairy, two-legged creature on a bridge. In the 1960s, there were many sightings around the Kentucky Lake area. In one instance, a family reported to a local newspaper that they were fishing and saw a creature that walked like a man and drank from the lake using his hands. June 1962, Trimble County. 2 men saw a black, hairy, 6-foot creature attacking their dogs. Other activity was reported in the area. July 1962, Mount Vernon. 4 young people encountered a Sasquatch while in their parked car. The creature growled ferociously, scaring them into hysterics. June 1968, Murray. Doctor reports seeing a Sasquatch on the road. In the 70s, many sightings were reported from Boone County, from farmers waking up from frightened livestock. Spring 1976, near Pembroke. 5 witnesses to 3 sightings. 6-foot-tall creature, huge round shoulders, glowing green eyes, seen near remote houses at night. January 1977, Simpson County. Policeman sees Bigfoot crossing the road at night. Other sightings in the area. August 1978, near Owensboro. Several men corner a Sasquatch beside a pond, shoot it with pistols from 10 feet. It fled into the woods, leaving no trace of blood. August 1978, near Owensboro. Multiple witnesses see a man fire 3 .45 caliber bullets into a Bigfoot's chest from 45 feet away. It ran into the forest, never to be heard or seen again. October 1980, Maysville. An elderly man and woman see a white Sasquatch from their porch. Oddly enough, giant skeletons have been found in Kentucky. At Mammoth Cave, the skeleton of an 8-foot-tall giant was found along with a younger adolescent in 1811. In 1876, the New York Times ran an article that referred to the remains of 3 8-foot giants found in the state. In 1965, landowner Kenneth White was building cattle stalls when under a ledge he found a perfectly preserved skeleton, measuring 8 foot, 9 inches in length. He states that the arms were extremely long and the hands were very large. The skull was 30 inches in circumference. The eye and nose sockets were slits rather than cavities, and the area where the jawbone hinges to the skull was solid bone. Over the last 200 years or more, Bigfoot sightings, as well as other anomalous phenomena, have been reported at a place called Panther Rock in Anderson County. The following is from a letter found in the Kentucky Library dated 1840. It was on a cold night in the Blue Hills of Kentucky. We felt a presence that was undeniable in this place, where moonshiners and trappers roam. Long after the Indians were gone, we heard the scream of the wild man. Indeed, we knew we were trespassers in his world now. There are no human conveniences, no sheriff or law to call upon, just the wilderness in its perfect and unyielding state. The Amerindians say he was here long, long before them, and long before any white man came to this valley. We heard that scream, that unearthly, deafening, piercing scream, that unequivocally let us know that this was not our domain, and that all the progress man has made meant absolutely nothing in this place.